Hi, I'm Nate Seberg, and this is the Romeo and Juliet Summary and Analysis series. This is the first episode where we tackle the prologue. If you're an educator, don't miss my Teaching Romeo and Juliet series, which is a whole other thing, also on this website. Finally, this is not a spoiler-free video. If you don't want spoilers, well then definitely don't read the prologue. But either way, it's time to spill some civil blood, and remember to wash those hands as they are unclean. Let's dive into Romeo and Juliet, Summary and Analysis, Act 1, Prologue. So the prologue of Romeo and Juliet, it's not really that hard to understand. It's pretty straightforward, but it can be kind of hard to get your head around why it exists in the first place. Like, what are we doing here? Because we don't really have a solid analog for this in our popular culture. Because what we have here, the prologue, it's not like a trailer, it's not a preview. What it is, it would be like, imagine if before a movie starts, if everyone who appeared in the film showed up on screen and told you exactly what was about to happen in the movie. You want to talk about spoilers? This is the movie being ruined for you by the actual movie. But there is a reason for this, I think. But before we get there, we're going to take the prologue line by line real quick. Here we go. Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, which is a city in Italy, where we lay our scene. So households, don't think like a home in the suburbs. So when they say households, think gangs. From your first cigarette to your last dying day. These family-based gangs transcend and exist in every social class. You have the street-level thugs, the captains, the cousins, immediate family members, and then at the top, a patriarch who runs the show. From ancient grudge, break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. Okay, their fight has been going on forever, and it's about to flare up again. Civil blood, blood of their fellow countrymen, will be spilled. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their lives. Loins, that means nether regions. Here it means kids. Loins is a gross word. So the kids of these two ancient families become star-crossed lovers. More on that in a minute. And it will end when they take their life, meaning they will both kill themselves, which is a bummer. Also, don't miss the double meaning of the word fated. It's predestined, sure, but also like in terms of fatal, it'll get you killed. Whose misadventured, piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. So it's a bummer, but it does ultimately serve to bury the strife between the families, which means it ends their feud. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which, but their children's end naught could remove, is now the 2 hours traffic of our stage. So all that stuff, the strife, the loins, the love, the suicide, the making up, that is our next 2 hours. So buckle up. The which if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend. If we miss something, just watch the play, you'll figure it out. So there you go. This, by the way, is what's known as a sonnet, which means it's a 14-line poem. 10 syllables per line, it has a rhyme scheme and a rhythm. It kind of like, it sounds good. We'll see these throughout Shakespeare, especially when noble characters are talking about noble, momentous, or emotional things. But for my money, the most interesting line in the prologue is when Shakespeare refers to Romeo and Juliet's relationship as star-crossed. You may have heard that term before, star-crossed lovers, and this is where it was invented. Shakespeare just straight made it up. So in Shakespeare's culture, like today, there was a strong association between the stars and destiny or fate. If your future is written in the stars, it is fixed, immovable, immutable, a fact beyond our mortal reach. Critically, Romeo and Juliet's love, though, is star-crossed, meaning thwarted by the influence of a malign star. Literally, that the stars are against them, that their fate is fixed and decidedly tragic. Which brings me back to the function of the prologue in the first place. Like, why does Shakespeare start his play with a full-throated spoiler? Because at some level, it takes the fun out of it. In someone else's hands, this story could have been a will they, won't they romp through fair Verona, where we follow these two crazy kids sneaking around, getting in trouble, and we're left on pins and needles, hoping that they make it. My parents just don't understand, you ruined my life, true love conquers all, you had me at hello, etc. But no, that type of story is taken away from us brutally and in 14 lines. Have no doubt, audience, you have come to watch a train wreck. Why? Well, I don't know. But one interesting observation I've read is that the prologue itself provides the audience with a sense of fate as well. We are put in the position of the stars themselves, knowing that these kids' fate is written and that nothing can change what is about to happen. And that positioning, it changes how we watch. What would otherwise be hope that they would make it in the end is instead channeled into a sense of empathy, of pity even, as we watch these hopeless lovers live out the end of their doomed lives. Romeo and Juliet. It ain't a comedy. And that's the Act 1 prologue. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out the complete summary and analysis and teaching series and teaching unit, available all of it at onedayahead.com. Next time, we head to Act 1, Scene 1. We'll see you next time on One Day Ahead.